Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke if you are new here, and today we're talking all about the Disney Cultural Exchange Program. Before we get into that though, I just want to mention I moved my room around and I think we finally have a spot that we can chill and chat where the lighting's actually semi-decent, and I'm using my Cinderella's royal table wand and I attached my mic to it, and I think this is just this is the new vibe. I think talking into a magic wand, it doesn't get much more Disney than that, let's be honest. So I'm really excited to chat today. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you did not know, which I'm assuming you know by the fact that you clicked on this video, the Disney Cultural Exchange Program applications are now out for 2023. I am so excited. Yes, I did apply myself and I can't wait to see where this year leads all of us. So the Disney Cultural Exchange Program is the 3-month opportunity where students from different areas around the world can go to Walt Disney World and work there over their summer break. Today we're going to be talking specifically about the Canadian application and interview and all that kind of process. Actually, we're not talking interview. That's going to be a later video. But we are talking cover letter, resumes, applications for Canadians specifically, because that is my experience. And if you are new here, you're probably like, Brooke, why the heck are you, who are you? Why are you talking about this? What makes you possibly qualified to talk about this? And let me tell you absolutely nothing, really. I'm not a Disney recruiter. I don't really know what I'm talking about. All I can ever do is speculate, because I do not work for Disney. I do not make those hiring decisions, nor have I ever. But I have been accepted to 3 Disney Cultural Exchange programs. Yes, we are going for round 4 of a Disney program this year. Round 4, my 4th Disney program. I'm waitlisted for the Cultural Representative program, and I have an interview on Monday for the Academic Exchange Program. So I'm trying to get back to Disney again, as we can obviously tell, but I think that means that I've done a pretty good job with cover letters and resumes trying to get into the programs. So today we're going to be going over cover letter and resume tips for you, and your just application tips in general for things that you may want to know or should know before you apply for the program, and just tips and tricks I have for new applicants as well as alumni. As for the interview, I was going to talk about interview 2, but I think I'm going to do that in a different video before interviews actually happen, because right now it's important just to focus on that resume and cover letter. Don't take yourself too far ahead. Just focus on the steps that are happening right now. I did put a question box up on Instagram. I had a bunch of responses. I condensed those questions into information that we're going to talk about today, and then just the random off questions that I didn't put in here, we're just going to answer those separately. So I have my book here with all my notes. Let's get into it. We're going to have a magic spell transition. It's going to be woo. So let's first talk about the actual Disney application. I will put the link down below, and I just want to mention we don't know when this application is going to close. It could close tomorrow, it could close next week, it could close 2 months from now. We have no idea. There is no saying, no telling. We don't know. Speculation, not factual information, but speculation has it that they only accept so many applications. Now we are talking in the thousands here of number of applications that they are going to accept before they close it, but they're not going to keep it open forever if they get thousands upon thousands of applications in. They're just not. From past experience, they've usually accepted about 400-ish people for every program that I've been on. I do not know on average how many people apply. It is definitely more than that. I can tell you that right now. So when you click on the application, you're going to fill out an application that Disney has for you, along with adding a cover letter and resume. This application is going to be a lot of general information, such as information about your prior work experience, if you worked for the company before, all the questions you would kind of expect to fill out if you're applying to any sort of job. It's really simple, easy questions. Nothing to be too concerned about. Just make sure you're filling it out as honestly as possible. You are going to have to talk about your 5 most recent job experiences. All I've done for this every single time is copy and paste what I have in my resume in those boxes. You can write it out differently if you want to, but I've always just copy and pasted out what I have in my resume. As for when the time comes for the actual resume, you are going to want to make sure it is as professional, clean, spell checked, all that, as much of that as possible. You want it to be super professional. You're going to want to use a clean professional font. I'm going to use the word professional so many times, like literally go take a shot every time I say the word professional. You are going to want to use Times New Roman, Helvetica, Cambry, whatever. Just not like Disney fonts or major script fonts, nothing like that. Do not use like Waltograph or anything like that. Like, don't do that. Use very clean, concise, clear fonts. You're going to want to put your name at the top along with your city and your phone number. You do not have to put your full address. They don't really care what your street number is, so you can just put your city and your phone number. The next section down, just like any resume. I mean, there are 100 different ways to do resumes, and everyone has their own special way of doing it. So if you've been told something else or want to do something else, that's fine. This is just what I did in the past and what I've done and how that's always worked. So I've always had a little statement at the top being like, hi, my name is Brooke Rogers. I have 7 years of customer service experience, and I've done 3 Disney cultural exchange programs, and I'm currently looking to apply for the cultural exchange program for 2023, something like that. Obviously a little bit more words put together because that was a little messy and not very well spoken, but something like that. You're then just going to have a little skills statement. So in my skills statement, I have like certificates I've done. So I have my Smart Serve. What do I have? Maybe I should pull up my resume while we're talking about this. Okay, yeah, so for my skills statements, I did 3 Disney cultural exchange programs. I'm Smart Serve certified. I have Visit Florida and Experience Kissimmee tourism training certificates. I have practice with delivering narrations as a tour guide. So just highlighting those skills that Disney might be really looking for right at the top there, and being as specific with them as possible. Not general skills like I can handle cash. No, just like be really specific with those skills and put things that are going to be important in there. If you've won any awards, highlight those, stuff like that, something like that. And then you're going to go into your work experience. This is where you're really going to focus on a couple things. So I did do a Disney resume writing workshop a couple years ago over the pandemic. Actually, they hosted one for alumni over Zoom, and they told you how to put some stuff in your resume and what you should be looking for. And one thing they always said was to use present tense no matter what. So instead of you provided good customer service, you are providing exceptional customer service. You know what I mean? Like, it's providing instead of provided, operating instead of operated, stuff like that. And you're going to want to keep it all the same tense throughout. In addition, you're going to want to make sure that you're wording things to the best of your ability to highlight your skills. So for when I was a service leader, so I worked in the food bank and at the service hub at my old college. I'm not going to use a Disney one for this just because to be honest, I don't want anyone to copy my wording, just because I'm applying for this too, and if we all have the same thing, it's not gonna look good on either of us. Instead of having the point, for example, processed 400 transactions a day, I have efficiently processing up to 400 transactions per day, printing documents, and assisting students in a fast-paced environment. So turning something that's super simple into more of a professional sentence, and also making things unique. So I have here to recognized by management for collecting the most donations to support the 2017 Polar Plunge campaign. Something I did that makes me stand out in that position, something other than just like the basic job duties, how I went above and beyond, or how I was recognized. If you are a cast member or were a cast member previously, you could put in there how many grape sodas you got. That would be a good one. Or if you were recognized by your leaders in any way, that would be really, really great. What you do not want to do, especially if you are alumni, is just post the job description. Disney knows what their job descriptions are, so you need to be a little bit more detailed than that. I always do my resumes in point form for the descriptions of each thing that I've done, each work experience. I have a lot of different work experience because I've done a lot of contract work, so I have a lot of different places that I've worked over the last many years since I first started having a part-time job. I only go back to 2016 is the latest I go back to, just because the other experience was so long ago. But I would say anything in high school, unless you were like recently in high school, I'd say go back no more than like 5 to 7 years maximum. I guess 2016 was how many years ago? 17, 18, 19, 19. Yeah, 7 years ago. So yeah, 5 to 7 years. Don't go back any more than that. No, if you are out of school long enough, like I have been, because I'm old now, guys. I've been through this a few times. I am aging. Don't worry about high school at all. Like anything you did in high school, don't even put it in there unless you were recently in high school. As for education, I have down here in education, I just have my college. No matter what, do not put your high school. I don't care if you graduated high school last year and this is your first year in college or university. Do not put your high school. Just put your Just put your university or college and be done with it. There's no reason why you need to have your high school in there. This is a program based on your college. You need a J1 visa based on being in college. That's all they care about. Do not put your hobbies in there. They don't care that you like to draw. They don't care that you like to do puzzles. No one cares about your hobbies on a resume, and use that as a permanent tip for your resumes. No one cares about your hobbies on there unless they are somehow related to the job. You could also put volunteer experience in a separate section if you have any, or you could integrate it in with your work experience as well. It's completely up to you. And then I just put the heading as work and volunteer experience, putting it, of course, in chronological order. Moving on to your cover letter. Should you submit a cover letter? Yes. If you do not submit a resume and cover letter, you will be automatically NLIC'd, which means no longer in consideration, which means you are not getting the job. Submit a resume and cover letter and work hard on both of them. You need to do this. For a cover letter, I did get some messages saying you have never written a cover letter before. My number one tip for you is do not write your cover letter alone. Do not sit here and be like, I'm going to do this alone. Get your parents to help you, get a teacher to help you. Both schools that I've attended, both colleges, have had career service departments that allow you to go in for free and get help writing resumes and cover letters. Do that. Take advantage of those services. Do not do this alone, or if you do it alone, make sure you have everyone and their mother read over it for you. Look up templates online. That's a great thing. Just don't copy and paste, obviously. Make it your own, but that's a really, really good place to start. Be professional in your cover letter, but talk naturally. Cover letters are going to be small paragraphs of type, so you're going to want to make sure your grammar is good, your diction is good, but you're also going to want to sound like a person, not a robot. You're going to talk about why you want to do the program. If you want to do the program because you want to spend your summer in Disney theme parks, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a miserable time.
Tier's not here for the right reasons.
One of the perks is that you do get to spend your time off in the parks. However, remember, you're working 40, 50, sometimes 60 plus hour weeks. So that's going to be a lot of work, and you're probably going to be pretty tired on your days off. So you will not get as much time in the theme parks as you might think, especially on a short summer program. That being said, you still do get quite a bit of time in them, but be prepared to work when you go down there. Disney knows that every single person who's applying for this program likes Disney in some capacity. They enjoy it. A lot of people are like myself and my friends, where we just absolutely love the company, we love the theme parks, we love Disney. However, Disney knows, and they don't care. They have everyone applying is the same thing. So why do you want to do the cultural exchange program is what you need to ask yourself. What about the cultural exchange program specifically is why you want to go. So that's where your research comes in. I'm not going to tell you the answers for this because it's really important that you do this research on your own, because that's what's going to tell you a little bit more about the job. The job description's right on the Disney website, and there's a ton of information right there. It's literally linked down below. All you have to do is go read it, and everyone's going to have a different answer for this. Is another reason why I don't want to tell you the answer, because everyone's going to have a different answer. But you're going to want to talk about why you want to do the cultural exchange program. You're also going to want to talk about what skills. What are some of the amazing skills you have that make you the best for this job and a good fit for the Walt Disney Company? I have in here that I am a tourism student really interested in the tourism industry, along with my story of why I chose to go into tourism and how my first 2 Disney programs really changed my outlook on work as a whole, the industry, and really what I wanted to do with my life. It is a little bit of my quote-unquote sob story, but not really a sob story. It's just like my inspiration. This is why I love the Disney company and love programs like Disney programs and stuff like that. And it really tells why I want to go back. I've also pointed out what I've learned in the past, as well as pointed out some highlights of my experiences. This is where I once again pointed out that I got those grape sodas, how I point out my organization communication skills and how I got those skills, so I prove them. You're not just saying, I have organizational skills. Okay, prove it. Prove it in a sentence on your resume right now. It can be done, and I encourage you to do that, but back up whatever you're saying about yourself. This is your chance to do that. When you do go onto the Disney program's website, you can see small job descriptions for each of the jobs that are available. I encourage you to look at those, find the ones that really speak to the experience that you personally have, and add those in. So I've had a lot of experience talking to large groups. I've done tours, all that kind of stuff. So I put in there that I have experience spieling because I've done it. Even before I was in attractions, I had experience spieling, and that's a quality that Disney looks for in an attractions cast member, someone that's going to be loud and outgoing in that position, so they're going to be able to better communicate with guests. That's just one example. Obviously, there are so many. Obviously, then you're going to want to end it off. I look forward to hearing from you, whatever. And then sincerely, your name. Make sure you put the date at the top. I put Dear Disney Recruiter, but you can put To Whom It May Concern. As for alumni, these tips are specific for you, alumni. Make sure you highlight that Disney work experience. I've had a couple people ask me, should you even put that in there? Yes, please do put in there. Definitely put that in there. Highlight it, work it, milk that experience as much as you can. Do it. If you were a good cast member, if you did your job wonderfully, if you were a pleasure to be down there, there's no reason why Disney wouldn't want to hire you back. There isn't. Write down what you learned while you were there, write down the 5 keys and make sure you integrate in how you used those in your job. If you are a new cast member, Disney does not expect you to know the 5 keys, so you can integrate them in, but you don't necessarily have to. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you're really just going to want to highlight all your experience, past and present, and make sure your tenses are correct, your spelling's correct, all that. Final tip, I think I've already said it, but we're going to say it again: spell check. Spell check, spell check, spell check, grammar check, and spell check. And then once you're done spell checking, make sure you go and spell check again. Send it to your teachers, your parents, your friends, everyone you know, and get them to spell check it. Let them know what they think, all of that. Take it to your school's career services, take it everywhere. I still have everyone read over my cover letter and resume. There were renditions upon renditions of the ones that I have created. I spent hours on this cover letter and resume. I'm not joking you, and I do every single year, except for the second year. I apply it on a whim. It was a whole thing, but normally I spend hours upon hours on these cover letters, resumes, sending them to my friends, to my family. I got my program coordinator to read it over. I have sent them to everyone. So just keep doing that. I straight up ended out this video and then forgot to answer the questions. So we're just going to do that quickly now. Yeah, so I just put something on my Instagram story. If you're not following me, you totally should go do that at Part of Brooke's World, as we've been new. Okay, so let's check out if we have any new ones or what. There's a ton of questions here, so we're just going to sort through the ones that I haven't really answered yet. Are you able to request a roommate if you know someone going also? Yes, you're able to request one roommate. However, I wouldn't worry about this until it gets a lot closer to, until acceptances have gone out, because you never know who's going, and you just don't want to plan too far in advance. You just don't want to jinx yourself. You both may be wonderful people and get the chance to go, but you just don't want to jinx yourself quite yet. Right now, you really need to focus on cover letters, resumes, and then on the actual interview itself. Put your focus into that right now versus any of the other information. How do you list the DCP in your resumes for Disney versus other opportunities? I think the biggest one here is Disney language. I can use the 5 keys in a Disney language sort of way on my resumes and cover letters, where if you're just saying that to like a company randomly, they're not going to understand. But if you're saying that to a Disney recruiter, they will understand, I think is the biggest difference. So just be conscious of that. But the actual skills in that are pretty much the same. My application moved to step 2. How long do you know how long it will take to move to step 3? I have no idea. So step 1 is when they've received your application. 2 is application under review. So I believe this is when it goes through like a computer, and a computer says, yes or no just based on the general information. Going from step 2 to step 3 is when a person reads over it. This could be at any point. It could be tomorrow, it could be 3 weeks from now, it could be a month and a half from now. We don't know. I have no idea, unfortunately, so you're just gonna have to keep checking back, because you don't get an email or anything either when it changes, so you just have to kind of keep on top of looking. But if you don't look, you will get an email about an interview if you have one, which is the real next actionable step you need to look at. Do you get to pick your arrival date? Normally there are 2 different arrival dates for Canadians, and you get to put a preference, and they try to accommodate that as much as possible. We don't know if that's going to be the case this year. We don't know if there's going to be 1 or 2 arrival dates, because no one has said yet, so that is up for debate still. I want to do the program again, but I felt so alone in it last summer. I would say that's a personal decision whether or not you want to do the program again. As for getting to know more people, you have to be outgoing the first few weeks of the program. Even if you are an introverted person, introverted people still really do thrive on the program. You just have to be outgoing in the sense of making friends. You have to be talking to people. You have to talk to everyone you possibly can, and you have to initiate those experiences. Everyone's looking to get to know people, so if you are also really out there getting active, going to events and such, that's great. But if you're going to events and then you just kind of sit in the corner, no one's going to come up and talk to you. So you just really have to make those efforts to be the first one to initiate that conversation. It can be really, really scary, but in the end, it's going to be worth it, because that's how you're going to make those amazing friendships and form those amazing relationships with others. So what academic, so this is a little bit more as to what I applied for the academic exchange program. That, I feel like a lot of people know what the cultural representative program, but the academic exchange program is through my school specifically. There are tons of different types of academic exchange programs based on what school you go to, and not all schools offer it either. So just something to be aware of if you are interested in that. It may not even be offered at your school, but like the reason I chose this school is because it was offered here as a part of the program. Like it is quite literally integrated into my program as an experience. And full disclosure, I have applied to the cultural exchange program, the 3-month long, but the academic exchange program is a 6-month long program. And if I get it accepted to that, I will be doing the academic exchange program, not the cultural exchange program. But obviously I want to go back in some way, shape, or form, so I do have a backup option. And I've also talked to Disney, so I will potentially be waitlisted for the cultural representative program for a while. I will not be getting a start date until the end of the academic exchange program, so that's still a possibility too, just to clarify where everything's at with my applications. And that's pretty much it. Everything on there I've pretty much covered. Other than that, it's a lot of just general questions, which I think we pretty much covered here. And final reminder, this application process is not a competition. Disney has a ton of spots open. I don't want to say they're going to take everyone, because I don't want to get your hopes up. Do not turn this into a competition. Make friends, get to know people. This is such an amazing opportunity. There's no reason to have any sort of negativity towards anyone else. No one else is to blame for anything, whether that be them not getting in, you not getting in, whatever. Just go into it with a positive attitude and make friends. This experience has absolutely changed my life for the better. I do not know where I would be without these programs. These programs have done so much for me. I am so excited to be sitting here and have the ability to talk about them, and also to potentially be going back with you all this summer. I truly cannot wait. So good luck to everyone that's applying. We are going to do a little Fantasyland pixie dust sprinkle together to close this out today. Normally I say have a magical day, but instead we're going to wish you good luck. So I'm just going to take this off so I'm not swinging it around. We're going to do a Bippity Boppity Boutique send off. So with faith, trust, and pixie dust, may all your wishes and dreams come true. Bippity Boppity Boo.